How's it going, everybody? This is Pristine Paper back again for another video, and today I actually have cards to show you guys. It's been a while. I know, most of my subscribers are not here for movies and Blu-rays and things like that, but it's still something I really enjoy, so I thought I'd put it out there. Ultimately, this channel's for myself. I mean, I know I make videos for people to watch, but I like to post what I like, and even if that's not what the masses are here for, but. Anyway, I just want to get that little spiel off my chest. I have had a lot of great cards come in the mail the last month or two, and been putting off making this video because there's one specific card I've been waiting for nearly 2 months. It's in this you can guess it, eBay authentication package. So I have a great story to go along with that. I'll do that at the end, so I'll just push this to the side for right now, and then this is everything else that I had been getting in. Um, I have a little section here of Al Horford stuff, and then this is just more miscellaneous pickups. Nothing, I guess, as structured as a specific player PC. So I'll get to that stuff second, but I want to get to this Al Horford stuff first, just to get it out of the way. Yeah, I've been picking up a ton of nice Horford cards for my PC. One of my favorite players, like I've mentioned many times. His stuff does not go for super expensive prices, so it's an easy PC to, you know, build on and things like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is the first one here. Some of these I haven't posted on Instagram as well, so these might be new to some of my followers. But this is a 2012-13 Panini Intrigue basketball. What is it? Terrific trios of Bradley Beal, Joakim Noah, and Al Horford, numbered 6 out of 10. This one was sent to me by Sholey or Steve on Instagram. I'll give him a little shout out here, I guess. I'm just kidding. Also part of the Hoops Hobby Hangout quartet, I guess you can call them. So big shout out to him for sending this. I think it was like super cheap, like around like $20 to $25. One of those buy it now bin smash cards for me. Nice looking foil. Two trim pieces on the Bradley Beal and Joakim Noah, but a nice chunky um, number piece here for Horford. I know these windows are pretty small, but still a nice looking card. Obviously, this is the Florida Gators alumni here. Joakim and Al Horford actually played together, and Bradley Beal was after their time. But still a nice card overall. All great players at one point or another. And yeah, just kind of happy to add this to my Horford PC. So there we go. That's the terrific trios there. Thanks again, Steve, for sending that listing my way. This is my most recent Instagram post. So this is the 2015-16 Panini Black Gold memorabilia prime of Al Horford, number 1 to 25. I've been on record saying that I love this black gold set. It's got some great foil, some great acetate. It's prone to scratching, but if you take care of them, it won't really get that bad. But also love the shadow box design here, as you can see, kind of Al Horford's popping out of the card a little bit. And yeah, just look at that shine. I absolutely love it. Nice chunky patch as well from his Hawks days. And yeah, just another great Horford for my collection. Another pretty cheap one as well. I won at auction. Sorry, sniffling a little bit. This one I got in an auction as well from, I think, like DC Sports. This is the 2012-13 Panini National Treasures NBA Gear Prime, number to 8, actually. Kind of an odd numbering here, of Al Horford. And this is the, I guess, pretty much almost full Adidas tag. It's split up into two different patch windows, as you can see here, but it's the same patch. Or it's like one piece, so they just cut it into two pieces for this for this card. And I like this card a lot for a couple of reasons. Obviously, the uniqueness of the Adidas patch there. And I love the throwback Hawks jersey that he's wearing. You don't really see that a lot in cards, or like specifically Al Horford's cards. So I thought that aspect is really unique. The numbering as well, being number to 8. I just wish that this hollow foil was also up here on the NBA Gear title or whatever. Would add like some more pop to the card overall, but I think the patch kind of makes up for that. So I'm not complaining too much. Really happy to have this in the PC though, for the Horford PC. Here we go. The last two are Celtics cards actually. I got this one from my buddy on Instagram, Celtics Collector 34, I think is his name. I'll put it up on the screen here. I'm bad with remembering Instagram usernames and things like that. But yeah, he reached out to me about this one. It was a great price. I decided to pick it up, and I really love it. I don't have a ton, I don't have a ton of Horford Celtics stuff, just because I don't know. I feel like there's just not as much out there as the Hawks. And this one was really cool because he's wearing the Christmas Day jersey in the photo, and two really big chunky pieces of from the number. Oh, I didn't even. This is the 2016-17 flawless set, number to 22. So again, another odd numbering there, but yeah, really nice card for the Horford PC. I love the green, obviously, and yeah, like I said, the uniqueness of the photo is kind of why I picked this one up. And you can, I think it's from, this was 2016-17. I'm pretty sure this was the 2016 Christmas Day game or 15. I forget which game, what year specifically, but they were playing the Knicks. So in my Instagram post, I included some pictures of that game. And Porzingis was guarding Horford in one of the, or Horford was boxing out Porzingis in one of the photos I put on there. So really cool to have that in the PC net as well. And this is my first booklet card. Really nice. Really love it. This is from 2016-17 Panini Preferred. This is the board members prime, I guess. Number 210 of Al Horford. Love this card a lot. The shine on the hollow foil is really awesome. Nice chunky chest plate piece. I believe this is the O and N from Boston, as you can kind of see right there. And I was able to photo match this photo as well, just because he's kind of like in an awkward like pose there. I was able to find it online or on Getty. And yeah, like I said, this is my first booklet card. I really love it a lot. I don't prioritize buying booklets, but when I saw this one pop up on DC Sports, I knew I had to kind of make a run for it because you don't really see these that often. And just really unique looking card overall. Really like it a lot. So that is the Horford stuff. I'm really happy to have all that stuff in the Horford collection now. Moving on to the more miscellaneous stuff. First one's actually a gift from my buddy Kyle, Wax Museum, or Wax Museum Podcast. I forget what he goes by now since the podcast is over, but this was a gift along with a couple other cards when he came to Massachusetts or Boston in December. This is a 2013-14 Panini Crusade Majestic Materials Prime number to 25 of Reggie Lewis. I was mentioning to him, not in a way that I was like asking for him to, get me a Reggie Lewis card, but I always said like I wanted to get a Reggie Lewis patch in the collection for a long time now. One of those Celtics that was with the team for a short amount of time. He passed away while he was a member of the team, really young. And I used to run track and field races and meets at the Reggie Lewis Center in Roxbury. So that was always kind of a nice, fun connection I had with the player. But he gifted this to me, and I am super happy about it. Like I said, his stuff goes for some, pretty big money, just because of the rarity of itself. So the fact that Kyle gifted this to me was super special. So thank you so much, Kyle. I really appreciate it, and it's in the PC now. Another one that has Reggie Lewis on it that I picked up is I forget what year this is, 2014 Panini Court Kings 2-on-2 of the Hornets and Celtics, Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Kevin McHale, and Reggie Lewis. This is the base version of 49. It's all game worn as well. Really cool card. I won this at auction as well for pretty cheap, or I think it was a buy it now, maybe with the best offer, and I sent the best offer. I've not posted this on Instagram. I probably won't just because it's not Prime. But I really like this card a lot because I know the Celtics and Hornets had like a playoff matchup in the 90s at some time. Maybe it was, 92, 93 as it says here. Reaching the playoffs for the first time in the team annals, the Hornets faced the Celtics in the first round. Unfazed by their long history, the duo Mourning Johnson averaged 45.8 points compared to Lewis and McHale's 36 in Chicago. Not Chicago. Charlotte upset the Celtics 3-1. So, obviously Celtics lost, but kind of cool to narrate that history on the card. The post I think this would be the post Larry Bird era. So really nice card. This is my first piece, first relic piece I would have for Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning in my collection. So not the last 2-on-2 I got in this lot here. So you'll see. This one is interesting. This is 2008 Panini Donruss Classic Combos Prime of Gene Upshaw and Merlin Olsen, number to 12. I picked this up because it was way too cheap. I think it was like in the $20 range for two Hall of Fame players with not a lot of relics. It's an older card. It is technically prime, even though like this is kind of like a one color piece. There is some stitching you can see on the left hand side, and the Olsen is two color. Not a couple players that I know a lot about. I think they're both I'm pretty sure they're both offensive linemen, or maybe Upshaw's a defensive lineman. Doesn't really tell you on the card. Obviously, is game worn. I thought maybe this would be a fun pickup just to maybe flip at some point for something I would like a little bit more. I feel like I got a really great deal on it, but if not, I'm happy to keep it in the collection as just for the rarity of the pieces. So there's that one. I've got a Panini Silhouette pickup here. This is the obviously 24-25 Panini Silhouette. This is I don't know I forget what the set name is. Silhouettes, yeah, Silhouettes Bronze number to 49 of OG Anunoby. Picked this one up because it's a nice chunky piece of the R in the Raptors nameplate. I mean, it could be from the R in the beginning or the R at the end, but regardless, it's a nice patch. I'm not a big fan of the bronze foil on this one, but I more so picked it up because of the patch. Really unique. OG Anunoby's a fun player. I also kind of like his personality, kind of like a goofy, awkward guy in a way, and he's fun to watch. Definitely a fun player to watch. I got this for super cheap as well, maybe around the $15 to $20 range, maybe 30 max. So there's that one. This one, I have not posted that one on Instagram either. Probably won't. This one I had just gotten. I will eventually post on Instagram because it's for my white gold set. This is the 2015-16 Panini White Gold Threads Prime of Dwayne Wade, number to 25. Really, really nice card. Now I only need 4 more for the set. I need Michael Redd, Rondo, Westbrook, and there's another player. I'm blanking. I'll put it up on the screen here. But yeah, only 4 more for the set. This one was posted on eBay sometime last year for a pretty large price. I think it was $199 or $200, which is just way too much for this card. More in the at max maybe like $115 type of card. So yeah, I've just been watching it. Not the best piece, it's a piece of trim, but it's 3 color. And I had saw the other day that it just got maybe relisted or just dropped down in price to $99. I sent in the best offer of maybe I think around like 65 to 75, and they accepted. So really happy to have this in the collection now for the set. And this is my first Dwayne Wade patch piece in the collection, if I can remember correctly. I don't think I have anything else of him in the PC, so really happy to get this in. And you know how I feel about the shine in this set, so super happy about that one. Next up is a card I got from OP Cards on Instagram. Mainer, so shout out to him. This is the 2024-25 Immaculate Standout Materials Prime number to 5 of Jaylen Brown. Now, Jaylen Brown has been having a monstrous season in Tatum's absence, of course. Winning multiple Player of the Month awards, All-Star starter, was in the top 3 MVP candidates for a little bit there, and just like really overperforming with the Celtics this year. I think as of recording this, they were like 37-18 or something like that. They just beat the Mavericks last night with Jaylen Brown having their 30-plus point performance. So really, really happy to add this to my Jaylen Brown collection for a good deal as well. Given his play this year, really happy about this pickup. And nice chunky patch there. Big window as well for the patch. And I like the foil, all the swooshes and things like that on this card. So thanks again to OP Cards for the deal there. Next up is a National Treasures from 2015-16 Colossal Materials Prime of Marcus Smart, number 25. I believe this was a DC Sports auction as well. I got it for under like $40, I want to say. And it's a super awesome card. I love the Colossal set from National Treasures. Obviously really big patch windows. And this is a jersey. This is one of those gray jerseys that he's wearing in the picture, actually. You can't really see it, but there's a little bit of gray peeking through right there. And just a massive chunky piece of the number. I can't really decipher exactly what piece it was from. Either obviously the 3 or the 6, but yeah, Marcus Smart. Haven't been picking up a lot of his stuff as of late. Kind of has fallen off the map, after the Celtics traded him. He's up with the Lakers now, of course. So, he's just one of those players that I'll always collect, and a player that is pretty cheap overall in terms of his nicer stuff. So, just another really nice chunky patch to add to the Celtics PC and the Marcus Smart PC. So there we go. There's that one. Next, we have a 2024-25 Panini Noir Icon Materials Green, number 5 of Kevin McHale. Got this one from China, and for pretty cheap as well. Really just like the green foil on this one with the black and white background design here. The picture of Kevin McHale in color really pops out here. And I think I had sold the Kevin McHale cards I had in my collection. I had like an autograph and like another mid-tier patch card of his I had sold over last summer. So I saw this one pop up. Not the craziest patch piece in the world. It's a piece of the lettering on the back of the jersey on the nameplate. But yeah, I just really love the way that this card looks with the sharp, crisp lines and the green foil. Really good use of the green foil. And yeah, obviously everything in here that I've said, I've shown before is game worn as well as this one. So yeah, got another nice Kevin McHale card in the collection. Next one is an interesting one. This is from 2018 Panini Playbook Football. This is the Coach's Quotes Gold, I guess, out of 25 of Mike Vrabel. I picked this one up prior to the divisional playoff game between the Texans and the Patriots. And this is actually Vrabel's first coach card, obviously with the Titans. Sticker autograph, which is fine because I think just the uniqueness of this card is really awesome. I love the quote, "We won't make critical mistakes." There's only 4 cards in this Coach's Quotes set, or I guess four coaches, so it's a really, really limited set. And the parallels run from 99 to 25, and then 1 of 1s. So not a ton of parallels. Got the gold parallel to 25. And yeah, I mean, Vrabel is now obviously leading the Patriots to their first Super Bowl appearance since the Brady-Belichick era. And just a nice, really nice generational run. I feel like the Patriots are playing with house money right now. No one expected them to be here. Obviously, lots of discourse around their ease of schedule and all that kind of crap. But yeah, they're in the Super Bowl, so you can't deny their greatness. And they beat 3 top 5 defenses in the playoffs, the first team to do so, and the first team to go undefeated on the road. So Mike Vrabel is a lock for Coach of the Year, in my opinion. So pick this one up for the collection and to kind of encapsulate this Patriots run in my collection. Next up is another Panini Silhouette card, 2024-25 Panini Silhouette. This is a duo memorabilia. It's not numbered, but there are 2 prime pieces of Giannis and Damian Lillard, game worn. This one was super cheap. I think it was listed for $49 on eBay, and I just for a Giannis prime piece, just that alone for $49 is a steal. But to include Damian Lillard as well, both future Hall of Fame players. Their stint together wasn't that successful. It was short, but still a very unique piece considering, again, they had a short stint together. And, now all the trade talks with Giannis, who knows if he's going to be a member of the Bucks by the time this video comes out. I'm filming it the day before the trade deadline on Wednesday, so we'll see what happens. Lots of crazy trades that have happened already with McCain today and Anthony Davis to the Wizards. Really interesting stuff. But anyway, back to the card. Yeah, I really like this one a lot. 2 nameplate pieces from the back of the jersey, and yeah, just not just a great overall card. Wish it was numbered. Wish there was some shine on the foil a little bit more, but for the price I got it for, I can't complain too much. So there's that one right there, Giannis and Dame. Another Panini National Treasures Colossal. This one though is from 2016-17, and it is the prime for Kristaps Porzingis, number 25. Really awesome card. Let me just take this front piece off just to get a better look at the card. There we go. Look at that. KP, has not really been, living up to expectations post Celtics trade. Now on the Hawks, and I just kind of bought this card because I loved his time on the Knicks. Obviously, loved his time in Boston. Helped us win that 2023-24 NBA championship, and it's a great piece overall. The N and part of the G from his last name Porzingis on the nameplate on the back of the jersey. Great overall patch window, big piece. Great foil, and then again a great price. So I'm really happy to add this to my Porzingis collection. You don't really see this kind of stuff floating around too much, on the secondary market. So really happy to add that to the collection. Whoops. We got another duo memorabilia card from Panini Silhouette 24-25, and this one is of JB and JT, Tatum and Brown. Another non-numbered piece or card with 2 prime pieces. Picked this one up, and this one kind of stumped me a little bit because if you could kind of see in the video, these pieces are almost like off-white to like a light gray, and I couldn't match what jersey this came from for both the players. I'm not saying it was swapped or anything like that, but maybe Panini maybe put like a Spurs pieces in here or something like that. That's the only thing I could think of. Got it from a Chinese seller, but anyway, I don't really have too many doubts about the authenticity. Just kind of interesting. But yeah, another prime patch or duo prime patch piece for my collection of Tatum and Brown. This is now my second. With both of the players on there. Both of these guys, are just amazing players. We'll both be Hall of Famers. Hopefully we'll win multiple more championships with the team. And yeah, just really happy to have this in the collection now. All right, moving on, we have the other Court Kings 2-on-2 I was talking about. This just came in the mail today. This is actually from 2015-16. And this is the prime number 25, Court Kings 2-on-2, with the Celtics versus the Pistons, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Isaiah Thomas, and Joe Dumars. This is my first licensed Larry Bird patch in the collection. I guess, that wasn't an error because the Leaf card that I had showcased a couple weeks ago is technically licensed with the picture of him in the Celtics jersey, but I won't get into that. First Isaiah Thomas piece though, and Joe Dumars, so really happy to have that. And I really like this one because both these teams had some history together in the 80s, and the Celtics beat them a couple times in the playoffs. And yeah, just a great overall card. I love the holofoil on the logo and the art style. It's kind of the pictures of the players are like almost like painted. And that's what I like about Court Kings. It has that artistic flair to it. And yeah, I've always wanted one of these prime 2-on-2s in my collection. I got this one for a fairly good price compared to some of the other ones that are listed on eBay or go at auction. So really happy to have this in the collection now for I don't know if Dumars is in the Hall of Fame, but he might be. But 4 Hall of Fame players on that card there. Next one was shipped in a super interesting mag graded case, but this is the 2012-13 Panini Innovation Statline Patches Prime number 25 of Kevin Durant. Now, really nice card. This is, of course, game dated to the game on 11/9/12, so November 9th, 2012. The final score of that game was 105-94. It was Thunder versus Pistons. And KD had 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 assists. So KD had that stat line wearing this jersey with this patch. Really, really awesome set. I love the game dated stuff, and you can, obviously relate it back to some real life statistics and things of that nature. And everyone can remember KD fondly on the Warrior, or it's not the Warriors, not fondly on the Warriors, but fondly on the Thunder. So really happy to have this in the collection now. I don't know if this is my first prime KD relic. It might be. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I don't know, but regardless if it is, this is a great one to, you know, pick up. So really happy about that KD in the collection. Big mail day, as you can see. Now this one is one that I've wanted to add to the collection for a long time. It was just a matter of finding one for a good price. This is the 1992 Irving gas station. Irving is a gas station chain in Maine. Irving Maine Black Bears card of Paul Kariya. Now Paul Kariya is probably the most famous athlete in UMaine's history. He won a national championship with the team. Went on to the NHL and became one of the best players of his era. And I'm not a big hockey fan, but just because I went to UMaine, and he's like one of the most famous athletes from the school, and UMaine hockey in the 1990s was just special. I just wanted to pick this one up for the collection. Maybe put it on the shelf for display. Not the most expensive or rarest cards. And a PSA 8, forgot to mention that, of course. But yeah, it just looks really nice, presents really well. Love the colors and everything, the old school Maine logo. And yeah, just a good card for my collection because, like I said, I went to UMaine and I can now display it, with some other stuff that I have. So really happy to add that one to the collection. Whoops, bumped the camera. Now, on to this bit of mess that I had encountered. So I have a page of notes here to kind of go through with this purchase. I guess I'll show the card first. So this card is one that I was after for a couple months. It was the matter of one popping up for auction, and it is this beauty right here. Let me pull it out. I haven't pulled it out yet. I just opened it to make sure that the card was actually in there, and I just closed it back up. But Jesus, I have a bunch of cat hair all over me. This beautiful card. This is the 2024-25 Panini Immaculate Collection Triple Mem Prime of Jrue Holiday, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, numbered to 6. Really nice Amica sponsor patch piece for the Jrue, and big full piece for the Brown, and nice piece for the Tatum. All right, so yeah, this is the card that I had purchased. I was gonna try to prop it up there. Give me one moment, just for the sake of displaying it, and then I have notes to read. So, come on, whatever. There it is. So, I had purchased this card on December 26th, 2025, from a consigner called Quick Consign. They are located in the Northeast. I believe in Pennsylvania or Vermont. I'm not entirely sure because maybe they have two different offices in both those states. But regardless, one's in New England, one is just outside of New England where I live. I live in Massachusetts, so I imagine that it would not take that long to get here. For full transparency, I did pay around $400 for this card at auction. I used some Christmas money that I had gathered up because for people that are like me and they want cards for Christmas, they're not going to send their family members what cards they want. They'll just ask for money and then buy what they want. So this was the big purchase I got for myself from Christmas, and like I said, I paid for it on the day after Christmas Day, the 26th, and the original arrival date was January 7th through the 13th because this had to go to authentication due to the price that it ended for at auction. So the shipping label was printed on December 28th, and I'll include some screenshots from eBay and other messages I had to send to the consigner. And like I said, so the label was printed on the 28th. A few days went by without any movement. I understood, it was around the holidays. People were, everything was slow, so it's not like I was, getting too anxious. But on January 5th, the shipment was received from the post office, and the package was acceptance was pending, and that tracking update lasted for 15 days. The tracking did not update for 15 days. So from January 5th through January 20th, I was left in the dark. There was no movement on the package. It just kept saying the package acceptance was pending. I had sent several messages back and forth to the quick consigner through eBay and email, just letting them know like what's going on. Why isn't this updating? It was dropped off. They, of course, were no help at all in terms of that. They said, oh, once it's dropped off, it's out of our hands, which ultimately I understand. They dropped it off, supposedly, you'll see. And I even reached out to the post office itself, and the specific post office had like a 1-star review on Google, and I was like crapping my pants. I'm like, oh my god, it got lost or it got stolen because of a holiday worker, temp worker that they had working there. And like I said, I called them. They had nothing to give me. I let the consigner know that they didn't know, like the post office had nothing to give me either. And like I said, 15 days went by since the tracking was updated. On January 20th, I got told that this was held up in shipping in the consigner's warehouse. And it was then sent to the authenticator with new tracking, again, on January 20th. So this whole time, the card was sitting in their warehouse, not shipped. So I'm thinking to myself, what was shipped? Like, what was the tracking number that I was looking at for those 15 days? They couldn't tell me. And so I was rightfully upset, and let them know pretty frequently. So then, yeah, they gave me a new tracking number, and that kind of went off without a hitch in terms of arriving to the authenticator. It was delivered to the authenticator on January 24th, so almost a full month after I paid a pretty large sum of money, like I had mentioned. And then the item did not get authenticated for like another week. It got authenticated on the 31st of January. So again, like 7 days after it arrived to the authenticator, which is why I hate the authentication service. Again, like there is nothing you need to authenticate about this card. There's no autograph. It's not in like a graded holder. You don't need to authenticate the holder or anything like that. It's a raw patch card. What are you authenticating here? That it is the card in question, I guess. So that was just really annoying as well, just waiting around. And then Quick Consign emailed me and like, did you get the card? It said it was delivered. I was like, no, I didn't get the card. You guys shipped it to authentication. That's where it got delivered, not to me. So like that was just annoying as well, dealing with their incompetence. And then it was shipped to me on February 2nd, and it arrived fairly quickly. It arrived to me today on the 4th of February. So paid for this card in December of 2025, December 26th, arrived to me on February 4th. Now, it might not seem like a really long time, but the whole runaround that I was having to go through with the consigner, with the post office, with eBay itself, was probably the worst experience I've ever had with purchasing a card. Now, it wouldn't have been a big deal if it was like a 10 to 20 to 15 or to $35 card. Like I said, I paid nearly $500 for this card with shipping and everything. It came out to like $430 something, which to some people isn't a lot, but to me that's a lot of money. And maybe to most people that is a lot of money. I'm actually gonna take it out of this stupid sleeve here because I love the platinum foil they use for this really awesome card. And I was getting nervous that this was stolen. Like the tracking didn't update for 15 days, and I know there's been circumstances where USPS hires temp workers during the holidays, and things have been stolen by those temp workers and lost forever. And again, this card's numbered to 6. There's not a ton of copies out there. If it was stolen or lost, I would have gotten my money back, of course, but I obviously want the card itself, and that would have been a huge bummer, because I love this card for my Celtics PC. And ultimately, yeah, it was the biggest headache that I've ever had to deal with purchasing a card. Through a reputable consigner, going to eBay's authentication service. So everything should have been like streamlined and reliable, and for the most part. But it was the worst experience I ever had. I gotta say. So took over a month to get to me all the way from Pennsylvania or Vermont. I forget which office this got sent in from. So yeah, really, really shitty experience on my part. But anyway, for the card itself, like I said, I absolutely love it. I'm happy it's actually here. I can forget about all this stress now. And yeah, really, really nice card. So that was my little story, my little rant on eBay authentication and my experience with Quick Consign on eBay. Um, Overall, I hope you guys, gain something from that or learn something from that, whatever. But yeah, this was my card haul pickup video over the last month or two. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite card was. I am super pumped to have all these cards in my collection now. Super fortunate and grateful. And grateful to be done with this headache, like I said, from this Quick Consign's incompetence. But anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna peace out here and say bye. See you later, guys.